I'm installing the Autoply insulation in our Sprinter 144. It's the high roof. I didn't see any other videos besides from the manufacturer on this. This is the way it comes. I did get the 1-inch material, and I suggest putting all the pieces in place first to make sure they fit. There was a couple minor errors that I had to cut on it. I'm about to do the ceiling. I'm putting windows in the back, so I won't be doing those yet. So for instance, this piece was a little long, so I just cut it so it fits in there. So putting the insulation on the roof was probably the easiest part of the whole process. You simply peel the backing off the adhesive and stick it on there. Nothing else is needed. I found it was easiest to start at the midline, peeling the backing off most of the panel piece, and then folding it, starting at the midline of the van, and then working my way out to the edges on it. Really the rate limiting step in all of this process is just peeling that backing off. Sometimes it can be a little frustrating, but you get a rhythm going once you've done a few of them. Okay, so the roof panels, the insulation panels for the roof went up really easily because you're just putting it in between the supports up here. But when I started doing some of these recessed areas, it was a real nightmare. The backing on this stuff is so sticky, and I tried getting this in and I just made a mess of it. You can see it's kind of all bunched up there. And so I was trying to figure out a better way to do it. And I experimented with some different things. What ended up working best for me was spraying, peeling off the backing on the material, and then doing a fine mist with a spray bottle of some. I used isopropyl 91%. I did try a piece with even water, so I think any sort of isopropyl, 70% would probably work just as well. But water worked all right as well. It just took a little longer to dry, and I really didn't want to be spraying water everywhere in the van. But I found that if you spray the back once you've taken the backing off, if you spray that with a fine mist of the isopropyl, and then you spray it in the cavities, makes it really super easy to put up. You can just put it up in there and then slide it around. And then this stuff, I did all this area with it, and let it dry for a day, and it's on there. It's not coming off. Another tip is that when you receive this material, there's these extra pieces that come in the box. Make sure you don't throw these away, because these are the pieces that fit in to some of these cavities here. So these are what's going into the cavities. So for instance, up here, there's a void just because of how it's recessed. So you have to stick these in. And again, this is something, if you didn't wet those pieces, there's no way you're getting them in that cavity neatly. And what I did was I made sure when I took out the piece that I lined it up, found the corresponding rectangle that fit with it. So I knew exactly which one went there. I just want to show some of the differences here between the Thinsulate, which I was considering going with, and I'm sure it's fine. It's just a little messier to work with. This stuff kind of comes off. And then of course you have to spray it. I like the idea of using this, which is really neat, and it already had the backing in place. So this to me just seemed like a better option, and I was excited to try it. I was getting pretty disappointed when I couldn't get them in those recessed areas, but as I'll demonstrate here, once you spray it, it's super easy to get it in. The other thing I found is using nitrile gloves makes the job a lot easier. The adhesive really sticks to your hands. Once you spray it with the alcohol, it makes it a little stickier, but it's still better than having your bare hands on it. And peeling this backing off can be a little frustrating, but if you take your time and kind of pull from the center out, especially pull towards the cut edges. All right, just quick fine mist with some, in my case, 91% isopropyl. Spray it in the cavity as well. And goes in that easily. Oops, and I think I have that upside down. I wouldn't be able to do this otherwise. So, another good reason for using the alcohol, and it's already now starting to stick a little bit. Dries that fast. Do this one. Okay, again, spray down, making sure to get these pieces that are going in the recesses and spraying in the recesses. So spraying takes what was super challenging, or I'd say annoying, and it makes it now really easy to put up this material. And then I kind of measured just again these rectangles to make sure I could even stick it through there to see, but I already know this one fits. I'm sorry, this rectangle. I'll just add, do the same thing with this. It's not critical you get off all this backing. It's going to be stuck in there. This. That's all there is to it. All right, so headliner's back on now that it's insulated. I haven't put these other panels on yet because I'm going to upholster them before I put them back on, the ones that came with the crew van. I mentioned that some of the pieces didn't quite fit right. Like for instance, this one I had to trim in order to get it to fit. I had reached out to the manufacturer and they really want to make sure the kit's good, so they sent me extra pieces, and these would fit perfectly if I used them. I tried them out, so they really want to make sure that their products, that people are satisfied with their product. This looks a little strange, but I just had extra material and that was a deep pocket. So I just added some extra in there. One thing in the future I'd like to see is a kit for the wheel wells. I think I have still enough material left over. I had accidentally gotten the passenger kit, but I think I have enough material left over to do the wheel wells. I'm going to try that. But I'm super pleased with the project. It was easy to put up. Spraying the material made all the difference, and it's stuck on there. It's not coming off. So make sure once you put it on there that you don't need to take it off. Once I put my windows in, then I'll put up the panels for over here. Thanks for watching. Hope this helps.